Good morning, everyone. Today, I will explain a global market trend with the topic rising oil prices due to world conflict. Oil is one of the most important resources in the global economy. When there is conflict, especially in key oil producing regions, it can quickly affect prices, businesses, and even our daily lives. In this presentation, I will explain the causes, impacts, and global effects of rising oil prices. First, let's look at the main cause, which is geopolitical conflict. Currently, tensions in the Middle East are disrupting global energy supply. This region is very important because it produces a large amount of the world's oil. There are also crucial routes like the Strait of Hormuz, where a significant portion of global oil trade passes through. When this route becomes unstable or unsafe, oil supply is affected. In addition, attacks on oil facilities and shipping routes reduce production and exports. Overall, conflict leads to a global oil supply shock, meaning there is less oil available in the market. The conflict also causes major supply chain disruptions. Oil shipments are delayed, especially tankers that must pass through dangerous areas. Refineries may reduce output due to limited supply and global oil inventories become lower. In extreme cases, global oil supply can drop significantly. This creates energy shortages that affect industries like transportation, manufacturing, and logistics. Next, let's talk about the immediate impact supported by this chart. This chart shows the price of WTI or West Texas Intermediate crude oil over a 10-year period from around 2016 to April 2026. The vertical axis shows the price in dollars, while the horizontal axis shows time. From 2017 to 2019, oil prices fluctuated slightly, staying mostly between $40 and $70 per barrel. This means the market was relatively stable during that time. In 2020, we see a very sharp fall, forming a V. Oil prices dropped dramatically due to the COVID 19 pandemic when global demand suddenly decreased. Second, from 2021 to 2022, prices rise sharply and reach a peak above $100. This increase happened because the global economy recovered and supply became tight, especially during the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Third, in the most recent period, we see another strong increase in 2026. After remaining relatively stable and fluctuating between $60 and $80 in 2024 and 2025, prices rise again and reach around $103 per barrel. This upward trend shows a clear breakout, mainly caused by new geopolitical tension in the Middle East. The chart clearly shows how oil prices fluctuate, fall sharply, and then rise again due to global events and conflicts. Now, to better understand why oil prices are rising, let's look at this infographic. This infographic shows the impact of the Iran war over 40 days, where energy facilities were hit across 9 different countries. We can see that the attacks are not limited to one country, but spread across key oil producing regions such as Iran, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Iraq, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, and etc. Each country listed here has important energy infrastructure, including oil fields, refineries, gas facilities, and ports. For in Iran, major gas fields and nuclear-related facilities were affected. In Saudi Arabia and the UAE, refineries and oil processing plants were targeted. Other countries like Iraq and Kuwait also experienced disruptions in their oil production facilities. When we connect this to the oil price chart we discussed earlier, it becomes clearer why prices are increasing again in 2026. In simple terms, this visual shows that the conflict is not only political, but also directly damaging energy supply. When oil prices increase, the cost of many goods and services also increases. This is called cost push inflation. Transportation becomes more expensive because fuel prices go up. Manufacturing costs rise because factories need energy to operate. Even food costs rise because due to higher transportation and fertilizer costs. And overall, higher oil prices lead to higher inflation, meaning people must pay more for everyday goods. Now let's look at the impact on the global economy. High oil prices inflation can slow down economic growth. Countries may experience lower GDP growth, and in worst case scenarios, growth could drop significantly while inflation remains high. And finally, we have what is called demand destruction. When oil prices stay high for a long time, people and businesses start to reduce their usage. For example, people may travel less and industries may reduce production to save costs. In conclusion, rising oil prices due to global conflict have wide impacts on the world economy. Starting from supply disruption, it leads to higher prices, inflation, slower economic growth, and unequal impacts across countries. And that is all. My name is Miqdad. Thank you for your attention.